All right, so you guys know that every year around this time, I do a video that revolves around space heaters. Well, this year, Doreo reached out and they emailed me and they said, hey, we want you to test our space heaters, which surprised me because that never happens. No company ever specifically wants me to test their product. So I responded back and I said, okay, I'll test your space heaters under one condition. I get to test them in any way that I want. And they came back and they said, okay, you can test our space heaters in any way that you want. And then word for word, they said, you can even light them on fire. Today we're going to be testing out the Solaris, the Solaris Slim, and the Doreo wall-mounted heater. And this one right here, this little bad boy right here, I got some big plans for this, and it's going to be very exciting. So I think you guys are going to be very intrigued with the test that we're going to conduct. We're going to be focusing on two of the most important things, performance and safety. So let's get started. All right, so our first test, these are obviously heaters, so they got to get hot. We're going to see how hot they get after 10 seconds. Okay. We're at 5 seconds. 10 seconds. 134 degrees. So, it gets hot. Where are we going to top out at, I wonder? It's like 208 degrees. All right, let's try this big bad boy. It should be roughly the same because all of these heaters are 1500 watt heaters. So it should be about equal. $99 degrees within 10 seconds. Probably because the heating element is much larger. Oh, now whatever that is, maybe 20 seconds. 234 degrees. Not bad. Now let's try our wall heater. And 10 seconds. 111 degrees for 10 seconds. So we have confirmed that all of the heaters do indeed get hot really fast. Next test. What happens if the heaters get knocked over? Does it get knocked over and then it just catches everything on fire? Or does it shut off? Or what happens? So let's turn it on. Let it warm up for a few seconds. Okay. Okay. I'm happy to see that. It does have some type of internal, like, tipping switch or something. I wonder. Okay, so as soon as it falls down, it has an automatic switch. I'm going to assume this one has the same switch, probably. Okay. I'm satisfied with that. Now, next thing I want to try, let's say you have this thing sitting next to your couch, and you have a blanket that hangs off your couch, and the blanket just happens to fall over top of the heater. What happens? Does it turn off? It should overheat and then turn off. So, we're going to turn it on, and we're going to see how long it takes for it to shut down, or if it shuts down. Okay. Start. Feel a little bit of heat coming through. We're coming up on a minute and a half. Just heard a click at a minute and 42 seconds. That should be it shutting down. I think the heat's going away. You gotta shut down. Okay, 2 minutes and 13 seconds for it to shut itself down. I am happy to see that it does shut itself down and it does not just burn the blanket. So, let's just make sure there's not any damage. Yeah, there's nothing. Everything looks, the blanket looks perfect, honestly. Man, this thing is soft. Now this one, I assume this is going to be right about the same. About 2 minutes. less than 30 seconds, I just heard it click. This one might be less than a minute, it turns off. "56 seconds, and it shut down. Just for funsies. Check for damage. I mean, it shut down so fast, there's no way. Yeah, perfect. And best of all, we are not on fire. Next test is going to take place in my office. So what we're going to do is we are going to run the small heater for 30 minutes. And we're going to see how much it raises the temperature. For reference, this office is 75-ish square feet. And our starting temperature, if you can see that, 76.1 is where we're starting at. So, I'll see you in 30 minutes. All right, after 30 minutes, we went from 76.1 to 84.6. So, pretty significant increase. All right, now for my next dumb idea. Out of my own curiosity, we're going to see what happens whenever you spray water into a running space heater. Now, this is going to be a good test to see which one of these space heaters can be used in the bathroom, because a heater in the bathroom getting splashed with water could totally happen. Let's turn this thing on high. I know this is probably a horrible idea, water and electricity, but this is some of the dumb stuff that I've always wanted to do. Listen, this is so dumb. A little sizzle. Okay. Nothing. Maybe let's go for a little bit more of a direct stream. Really? What if we go in the back in the fan? Oh. Oh no. It just died. Was that too much? Was that too much water? Oh, is it like fried? Maybe we'll let it dry out, and we'll see if it comes back to life. I'm wondering if there's like some type of water sensor, or maybe that's just too much water and we just fried it. That was quite a bit of water. So let's try this one. I'm wondering if it'll do the same thing. If it'll just end up shutting down. Tons of hot air. Ooh. There we go. We got a sizzle. Interesting. So the heating elements seem to be fine. Let me get a mist here. But when you spray it in the back fan, that seems to be what does it. I mean, I wouldn't recommend this, but it keeps working. About 148 degrees, even soaked in water. Almost sprayed the whole bottle. Still running, okay? That's very interesting. Everything still works. All right, so I guess water just really doesn't affect this thing. So you could definitely use this one in a bathroom. All right, for my next dumb idea, I want to turn on the space heater and then dunk it in a tub of water and just see what happens.
All right, you silly gooses. This next part is very dangerous and should never be attempted or recreated. Do not try this at home.
I have a feeling it's probably just gonna fry. And I also have to be careful because I don't want to trigger the tip sensor. I think it would be really cool if I dunk this thing in here and then it just like runs and like heats up the water. I don't think that's gonna be what happens. Let's see. It's still running. It's totally running. I'm so mind blown right now. What is happening? No, it's totally heating the water. I should check the voltage of the water. No, there's nothing. There's only 0.03 volts. It's picking up more than that just in the air. 70, I don't know how well you can see that, 71.1. And it seems to just not care about the water. I can turn it down, I can turn it up. So I'm not entirely sure what's happening here. We're at 75 degrees. It is literally heating up the water. That's all it's doing. That's so crazy. That's exactly what I wanted to happen in my heart, but I figured I would just put it in there and then just zzz, and then it'd be done. Let's plug this in. Let's see how many watts we're getting. Oh, it's sitting at about 800. Oh, you know what? Let's do this. Let's do this. Let's unplug it. Let's pull it out of the tub. It's literally working just fine. Now, another test I want to do is I have it hooked up to the watt meter. It's pulling, what is it, 1490, 1500-ish watts, give or take. And I want to see if the wattage goes up or it goes down whenever it gets put into the water, or if it stays the same. So we're going in for a second dunk. Where are we at? 1200, 1100? So it goes down. That's kind of the opposite of what I expected. I expected that whenever you added it to the water would add more resistance, which would draw more power. I don't have an explanation for that. I'm sure somebody that's way smarter than me in the comments can explain that. Oh, now we're down to 1,000. And if we pull it out, do we go right back up to 15? Yeah, we start climbing back up. That is a very interesting discovery. I don't really know what to make of that, but hey, maybe somebody in the comments can explain. Okay, for my next installment of stupid ideas, we have moved outside and I have changed out the water in the spray bottle for gasoline. So let's see how the space heater handles that. Hopefully it ends in a giant fireball. Okay, so I've let the heater come up to temperature. Most of you guys will know that I have actually sprayed, or I've dumped gasoline on a space heater before and nothing really happened. I'm hoping that if I do it out of a spray bottle, then it'll make a difference. So let's see. Wow. Literally nothing. It's just doing the same thing as the water. Interesting, okay. So we have kind of like a pretty strong stream. Let's do that, change that into a mist. Go in the back. Just nothing, huh? Like what are we doing here? You can literally just dump liquid gasoline into a space heater, and then you can also just spray it in. Let's try dumping it. See what that does. Literally nothing. Perfect. All right, let's go extreme. Let's try some starting fluid. I think this is the most flammable stuff that I have. Literally nothing. Okay, cool. Let's go in the back. Okay. So I guess since it's not gonna catch on fire, we're just gonna have to create the fire ourselves. Let's see how flame resistant these things are. I'm sure you're probably wondering, hey, you just soaked that other one in gasoline. Why don't you just light that one on fire? Well, the thing about gasoline is that once the fumes build up, it can actually be very dangerous. So I don't want to cause an explosion. So we're just gonna use this one, and then we'll use the wall mounted one. Okay, nothing really happened. It might have melted a little bit. Let's plug it in and see if it works. No way, is it gonna work? No, we killed it? That little bit of fire killed it? Oh, you know what, maybe. Okay, let's do this. Maybe it's just overheated. Let's hit it again. Let's give it a good, maybe, I don't know, 20 seconds or so. I don't think that was 20 seconds. Okay, I think that's sufficient. Oh, ooh, I didn't notice that. Ooh. Maybe that was a little much. I think that was a little much. We'll still see if this works later. Maybe, let's take it easier on this one. Let's do something different also. Let's plug this one in, let's turn it on, and let's give it like little spurts and see how long it takes before it dies. I can feel the heat coming off of it. Let's see. Still working. Still working. The whole front panel is completely black. This is very interesting. Still working. All right, let's really give it to it. Still working. The front plate is literally partially melted and it's still working. It's literally, the front plate is literally melting off. And it's still working. Holy crap. Look at that. It's literally melting to pieces. Still putting out heat, by the way. You can't even see the front panel. The button still works. Let's give it to it some more. Still working. Still putting out heat. Oh, you know what? I just heard it kick. I think it might have got overheated. I would have never guessed this. The thing is literally melting in on itself. Okay. Oh, ooh. I don't know if you heard that, but the fan just got jammed because the plastic melted in on the fan. But it's still on. I can still see the lights. That is a durable button. Ooh, that's hot. I honestly don't know what to say. I'm shocked. This thing is completely cool to the touch at this point. It's a tiny bit warm. Let's see. It does show some form of life, but it's like, I don't know. I think it's just dead. It does beep sometimes though. Oh, now it's not even beeping. It used to beep when I plugged it in. Maybe it just needs more time. All right, so a little bit of a sad update. The tower heater, the first one that stopped working, never came back to life. It's still just, I can plug it in and it beeps, then that's it. So I think the flames kind of fried something. Nevertheless, I'm very impressed, especially with the one that mounts on the wall. I would not have guessed that the whole front could be melted and then the buttons still work and then the heating element still works. So that was impressive. That's all I got. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.